about STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. And yes, I know you guys probably heard a lot of teachings in school, so don't let it go in one ear and out the other, because you may think this message is not for you, but hear me out and you may see that it's a good message to listen to, learn from, and try to apply in your life, okay? So let's go over some of the people who may think this is not for them, and then I'll show you how it is, okay? First, you got those who probably already have an STDs. I'm going to start with them only because they stopped doing research. That's the wrong thing to do. Because even if you have an STD, let's say you have chlamydia or you have herpes or you have AIDS or anything, do you want another one? So basically, it's always good to get educated about STDs, to take precautions, and to have what they call safe sex. Okay, so you're definitely gonna want to listen to this message. If you're someone who's abstaining from sex, you may think, I don't need to listen to this about no STDs, I'm not exposed. But actually, if you're honest with yourself, a lot of people who's abstaining, you got to ask them, how are you abstaining? Because the way they do it might not be that they're not kissing, not touching up on each other, not finger popping, and not humping, and not doing oral. Some people are abstaining and they're still doing a lot of other things. So they're abstaining from sexual intercourse, but not sexual activities. The other group of people who may think that they don't need this message are those who are married. They think if they're married, they don't have to worry about that. But of course, we all know from experience that some married couples have issues where there's infidelity, or there's issues where the person probably had an STD before the marriage and never told them. So basically, it's very important, even as a married couple, as a married person, to be very conscious about the reality of STDs and about taking precautions and taking tests. The other group who may think that they don't need it are those who are single, truly single, not doing anything sexual, and then they're going into relationships so they know they don't have anything, so they don't need to take tests. But realize the test is together, because as the title of this video of a date to the STD clinic, basically it's for both of you. So just because you know you don't have anything does not mean the other person might not have something. So this is something for the both of you to do together, and it's so you both know what you're bringing to the table and what you're not bringing to the table, if you catch my drift. The other group of people that probably think they don't need to hear this message are straight people. Yes, some straight people really do think that the only people that have to worry about STDs are those who are practicing homosexuality or other forms of sexuality. No. You can get STDs too. Please wake up. And the last group that probably doesn't think that they need it are the preteens and the teenagers who are just fooling around, playing, experimenting. They're not even thinking about STDs. They need to think about STDs. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about a date to the STD clinic. Why? Okay? So, let's talk about kissing. So, some of you who like to have those hot makeout sessions with a random stranger, please, please go get tested. Okay? Because there are a lot of diseases that can be spread through kissing and through saliva. So, of course, right now we have these corona times going, so we know that's one of the things right now to be careful about. But there are also other diseases people don't think about. Some of them are not even sexually transmitted disease, but you can get it through kissing. All right? Tuberculosis is one of them. And then there's syphilis. Syphilis is another one. Herpes, HSV1, the oral one, where you get cold sores and stuff. And cold sores, and there's sores inside the lips. Yes, you can spread that through a nice makeout session. So be careful. And there's another one, even the HSV2, which is the genital herpes, can be transferred, because if someone gives oral to someone who has it, now it's passed on to you. So that's another one. And then there's CMV. It stands for a word that I can't pronounce too well, but it's cytomegalovirus. But basically, that can be spread through kissing, urine, blood, semen, and breast milk. Okay, and that one is a disease that many people are not familiar with. So basically, some of the symptoms of CMV are fatigue, sore throat, fever, and body aches. So a lot of people don't even know about that. So basically, there's plenty of diseases out there that just from a nice makeout session you can get. So if you're one of those that's not having sex, but you're kissing and making out with people, making out on the first date, things like that, be very careful. You might need to go on a date to the STD clinic, whether that date is alone or with your future mate. Okay? Also, there are those who enjoy all types of foreplay. All types of foreplay, or as part of their sexual activity. They do oral, they're finger popping, they're rubbing genitals against each other, all of that. You'll be exposing yourself to certain diseases because a lot of these STDs are spread through bodily fluids. So, if you're one of those that likes to do all that, again, go to the clinic, get tested, make sure your future partner, sexual partner is getting tested. If you're about to get married, make sure that is one thing you guys do before you say I do. Just to make sure that you're not bringing anything into it, because I've heard some very tragic stories. I've actually known someone personally who saved herself for marriage to end up with a player guy who decided to settle down finally, and lo and behold, he gave her AIDS. She had HIV and it turned to AIDS, and her life just turned upside down because she did, what she felt was right. She, didn't have any sex before marriage and did well and everything, and he was so proud. He married a virgin. He finally ready to settle down. He chose a good girl, and lo and behold, he gave her AIDS. So just be careful, be careful, be careful. Don't ever feel ashamed to ask someone to go take an STD test with you. I said with you. And the reason I say with you is because unless that test was taken yesterday, you never know. Okay, so if they show you, oh yeah, here's my test results, here it is, and they took it 6 months ago, you don't know what happened from the time they took it to the time they met you. So it's very important before you expose yourself to a person that you take a test. So that's another thing. So, and also some people think that if they're using condoms during intercourse that they're safe. I'm not going with the cliche thing of, oh, condoms aren't 100%, condoms break. Okay, yes, we know that. But the real danger is what happens before you put on the condom. Like I said, a lot of people do oral, rub genitalia with each other, and they do all this not with a condom. Most of them not using condom. So there are alternatives out there. There's flavored condoms out there. If it's about the taste of the lubricant, there's flavored condoms. If you really have to do that oral, and also just don't do it. But of course, we know that everybody's gonna do that. So just be careful. Take the test. Don't be ashamed to talk about it. Because if you're gonna lay yourself down with somebody, you better be able to talk about the safety side of it, okay? Not just the glamorous side, but the safety side, okay? And we know this world, that's all it shows. It's about how good it feels or about the intimacy, but there are a lot of dangers out there, things that could change your whole life. And if you're kissing, if you're rubbing, touching, doing anal, doing vaginal intercourse, if you're just making out, like I said, kissing, just make sure you are protecting yourself as far as taking a test. Take the test before you even allow yourself to go there. And ain't nothing wrong to, have a test again in the middle of the relationship. Even if you've been dating for like a year, go take another test. The same way guys have date night. Let that be one of your dates. One day, you got to make sure you guys are okay. All right. So now, let's say you do take the test, and sadly you have something. That's not the end of the world. There are dating sites out there that are made specifically for people with STDs, just to let you know. There are dating groups out there for people with that in that community. So it's not the end of the world. There are people out there. But again, like I stated from the beginning of this, one of the groups of people that think they don't need to take any more tests are those who have an STD. No, because unless you want to add to your list, unless you want to have 5 STDs, please, this is something that has to be maintained. You must take STD tests before you get sexually involved with somebody, and make sure they take it as well. And that's why I said it has to be an STD clinic date, because I suggest you go together. You go together or the same day, even if it's not together because it might be awkward, but at least go the same day or around the same time frame. That way you know it's current, you know that the information you're getting is current, and that when you walk into it and you decide that this is someone I want to get intimate with and that's going to be monogamous, that you're safe. Okay? So anyway, if you enjoyed today's talk, please hit the subscribe button. All right, and I will be coming with more content for you guys, keeping you conscious in the dangers of some of these things we face in the dating scene, things that people are uncomfortable to talk about that have to be talked about. So hope you have a great one, and date safe and enjoy. Never run.